We shall call this meeting to order at 18:32 hours. And
Do you have one of these?
I have one right here.
Okay.
In recognition of the public would be Ian and Mike and Lisa and Penny. And approval of minutes would be next.
So moved for last meeting?
Can't say
All in
that.
favor?
That'd be us, aye.
New business, be town server. I believe that's Penny, you and Lisa. Whatever going on with that.
Sure. Okay, so Lisa would like to do the lister position remotely from home, which the computer.
More than just that, there's a lot more.
Well, but remote, the main question is remotely from home.
Remote access.
Access to get to the computer here, which is networked and on our server. I'm a little skeptical and afraid to have remotely done from home due to circumstances that have happened in the past here with the computers. And be honest, I know nothing about a computer on the backside. So I'm just kind of here defending myself as a town clerk treasurer. Our server has town clerk and treasurer information on it, along with listers and anything else that is pertinent to the town. I feel if the select board does choose to let Lisa do remotely as a lister, I would not like to have the responsibility of the server.
So what I'm looking for is not just to be able to work from home, because that is really actually a very tiny portion of the whole thing. That's, I'd be able to get more hours in. It's really remote access for support, technical support and everything. NEMRIC does everything remotely. ProVal does everything remotely. We pay services things for these folks to come in and be able to do remotely, take care of our technical support. We will then be losing that ability if we don't have the remote access. Just being online, through Comcast, there's more risk through Comcast than there is through a remote access. I have one that we've been using for years, Log Me In. I don't care if it's Log Me In, honestly, or go to my PC or whatever. These are their white papers. These companies, there are a lot of well-known ones. I mean, most of the world telecommutes. It's time for us to kind of get into the current, century here. And lots and lots of people telecommute into hugely important and secure kind of organizations. And these companies wouldn't survive if they were portals to hackers and such. There are much better chances to having somebody hack our systems directly through Comcast and being online than there is through the remote access. So that's a lot of it right there. I did speak with Steve West, who is not great, a real fan of the remote access. I spoke with two other tech people who are just saying, get your head out of the dark ages and let's move on, because you're going to be spending a lot more money and getting a lot less support. It's really time to move on and get with it.
Let me ask a clarifying question. Do NEMRIC and I can't remember what else you mentioned, but
ProVal. Those are the two programs that we use to do our work.
Do they not have access to remotely do tech support as currently?
We only grant them access when they want to come in and do something on it.
On site, or they can do that remotely.
Not without our permission.
I understand that, but my understanding was that wasn't the question at hand. Whether NEMRIC and ProVal having access.
ProVal, for example, we went down.
Don't they already have that access? I'm just saying, remotely, without permission.
Only if we allow them to. For example, our ProVal went down. There was a problem. Steve had done something and doesn't understand databases. We have our program. Our ProVal is on a database. He doesn't understand databases and had moved some and had done some backing up in a way that it caused a damage to our files, accidentally. But what happened then is that The only way we were going to be able to get back into it is we had Russ come in through LogMeIn, and he spent hours on my computer remotely, this computer remotely, to be able to fix it and recreate our data and get everything back online. If we did not have that, we would have had to wait a number of days. It would have also cost us a lot more. We would have paid for travel and everything like that. We would have been down a lot longer, and it would have cost a lot more to get us up and running again. And we were just plain down. People were calling, asking for information. We could not access our database at all.
Just to go back to your point though about Comcast, Comcast doesn't touch our server.
No, but my computer has access. So I'm there, I'm working today. I'm on the computer,
Sure.
okay?
Yeah.
I have access to the server through my computer. Somebody can hack in through Comcast, through my computer into the server. Or yours, or yours, or yours.
Through Comcast? Comcast doesn't go through our server.
No, but what I'm saying, they can hack into your computer through Comcast and then have access to all the drives. They don't go through our server, that's correct. But they have access to all the drives if they hack into your computer. Any drive that you have access to while you're sitting at the computer, somebody can hack in and get at those same drives.
I didn't understand that from Steve.
So, just being online itself is its own set of risks. I mean, in order to do business, risks are assumed.
Sure. We don't have the type of secure server though that most companies that telecommute have. We
Right.
don't
And the
have
thing
that
is that
level of security,
Right.
so it's more at risk.
Right, but I mean the thing is that it's like we come in, but there are several layers of passwords you have to go through. Again, I don't care if it's LogMeIn. Again, that's just the one we're familiar with because you were using it because it was free, and that's all that was about. But you have to come in, and I have actually.
So Lisa,
I haven't used it for a while. I forget how to get in because there's so many layers.
Are you saying that you have already had access? You have already been able
We've
to
been
work
using it for years.
remotely from home?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you asking for now?
Because
continue.
the problem is that that LogMeIn stopped their free access. So I came asking if we could have the money to buy it.
I see.
It's $50 for the first year. It's $100
And in doing so,
you
you raised our consciousness about that this is a potential security issue.
It's something that we've been doing.
They also weren't networked before, up until this year. So they would have been going
Right.
into just their computer.
Well,
that
we
wasn't
have been
networked.
going in with the server for the past however many months, but
Yeah.
not for a year.
They weren't connected to the server before.
However,
So it was just their computer.
all of our stuff, which is also not public information, has been out there has been on our computer, and
Yeah, the difference being now you can connect to the server remotely,
right.
and that's the issue that creates the devil. Yeah.
I think it's, I don't think it's an issue of being in the dark ages or not. I think it's not that simple because of, my understanding about the level of security needed for the server, the issues that we've had in the past, I don't think it's about to, come into the 21st century or stay in the 20th century. I understand the value of being able to work remotely and work from home. My concern has to do with being logged into the server that contains the kind of not just your listers
Right. No, I know. It's got a
information,
lot
which
of
has
stuff.
been a huge issue in and of itself.
Has personnel information.
But there's that's, to me, that's the issue more than trying to impede progress or.
But you should read some of these things, how many levels of encryption these programs, as I said, they deal with tens of thousands of companies.
Understood.
And if they were being hacked on a regular basis, or if they were being hacked, it would be news. I mean, think about Target. It got in there, they got hacked. You knew about it. You'd have to be in a cave to not know about it.
Sure.
The same thing would happen with these companies because that's what they do.
They've actually hacked into the federal government. So I question anybody that says that it's foolproof.
Oh, it's not foolproof. Nothing is.
It's.
Person that I work with who was saying he encouraged everybody not to bank remotely, not to pay their bills remotely, not to do anything remotely because you're so vulnerable when you do that. In a sense, it's possible people could be pushed back in a direction more primitive.
Paper.
Paper, go to paper.
Once it's in the air, anybody can grab it, they got the know-how, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, is that this is not necessarily the problem as much as just being on the internet is, is the biggest way to get it.
So there are two issues to me here. One is, who's making this decision? Because we've talked about who's the keeper of the server, and we've asked for support for that. And the other question is, we have this advice of Steve, as you said, was not in favor of this idea.
Right.
And he's kind of our tech guy. I understand you feel that there are other people who are much more in favor of that. But to me, those are my instinct would be to follow his advice. But I don't know if it's whose decision this is, and I don't know if we really worked that out.
Now, Katie, didn't you send some information out to refresh my name?
Jim Barlow or Jim Barlow's?
Jim Barlow's.
The league.
Yeah.
The league.
Yep.
Yeah, Baxter.
Along too.
Now, he
Okay.
said that the keeper of the server, God, I don't
Is the
have
select board, but
the
that they
select
can
board,
appoint
but
a
we
designee.
appoint the designator, whatever it is,
Yep.
for that. And that's what we got back from the league, Vermont League of Cities and Towns.
Did you talk with them at all about, how they felt about it in general? Just the whole remote access concept?
I will,
Who, the league?
Yeah.
They just stick to whatever the statute says, and the statute's gray on it, so they don't really commit to that it's becoming more and more of a discussion, but nothing that they have a position on yet.
Mm-hmm. And so the designee, to get back to your question,
Right.
If we were to choose a designee, that would be Penny in that.
The town clerk.
The town
Correct.
clerk, or more, to me, more importantly, almost the town treasurer.
It's going to be that person who.
I don't want to be in charge of this because of all the
I'm
things
not
that we
going to be
talked
in
about
charge of it.
before,
I don't
about that we would be the select board, we are elected
You get
officials, we're
called
not
every time
working
we
in
have
here,
it.
so that
Yeah.
it makes sense for it to be a person who is working in here.
Mhm.
I can't even get it on my phone to work, so no, I don't want to be in charge of anything to do with it.
Sure.
I guess, I think we have one of two actions to take. To either approve this request or deny it as one possible action, but the other is to either designate Penny or Peter or Katie as our, sort of person who's in charge of the decisions about the server or not, right?
Correct. That's what I see.
Can I just add my 2 cents?
Sure.
I think it should be an elected official, because Peter and I don't really have the authority.
Okay, so it would be in Penny in that sense, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I would need,
I'm not supposed to talk, but I was just wondering, there's a technical question. Ian Keel, cameraman, is that if you explore technically, should the server itself not be on the network? In terms of does the lister's computer need to be networked to your server? Do you see what I'm saying?
Because you've been
Before.
you've been networked. You were networked before, just to your own.
Because
stuff.
you might ask Steve that question, because you might even want to just take your server, be local only, that it doesn't have an internet connection to protect it even more.
But-
So again, just technical questions that you might want to ask.
yeah.
And then if you
I'm
took
not
the
even
listers,
sure our server has an internet connection.
well, if it's
Oh, it's
networked to a computer that has internet connection,
Then it has
Then
an
it
internet
is.
connection.
So the idea that if the listers were created a separate network so that they could use remote access that wouldn't access the server. What I'm saying is there might be a technical question
Yeah.
that Steve
And there may
can
be a
answer.
way around this, so you could get access to your lister stuff without getting access to the.
And I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
You
But
just-
then all the changes that you would make,
We would
You
still be
wouldn't
able to
get
find
the-
out a way to be able to just back up regularly to the server, but maintain our
I got it.
soul.
You just cleared that up just like a mud puddle.
No.
What he
See,
said.
what he said was basically is could Lisa get access to her lister's files without going to the server, without getting access to payroll, tax information?
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, but I thought one of the problems the lister was having because they couldn't get on the server to keep up with the cards.
I'm sorry, what was that last part you just said, Dick?
He thought one of the problems you were having was that you weren't able to get on the server to keep up with cards and things like that.
No, there was a period of time where that was a problem when our stuff got moved.
Mm-hmm.
we didn't even know it was happening. Our stuff got moved, and then we no longer had access to it because it got corrupted when it got moved.
I guess I guess I would like to make a motion to appoint Penny as designee, and then if you're able to pursue this in a way that possibly you could get access to the lister information, or that suggestion, that would make sense. But that's the motion I would like to make, is to appoint Penny as designee, as the select board's designee in terms of making those decisions and being the keeper of the server. Doesn't look like a second, but
No, there's so much IT stuff going to be thrown around.
Right.
I want to make sure
sure.
that everything is there. But I second your motion.
So what you're saying is Penny would be in charge of making the decision whether.
I think it makes I think it makes
remote
sense, and I
access.
think if there's a way that you could work it out so that Lisa could have access to listers files, so be it. But and that would, and I think that's a really good suggestion, so that you did have that opportunity without getting the server, the main server, involved. But I guess it makes sense to me that be a decision that be made by the town clerk, town treasurer, elected official, person who's here in the office all the time. So that's my reasoning for that.
Are you okay with that? Trying to work that out one way or another? Or?
Yeah, what it will end up is they will not be networked just like they were a year ago,
Yeah.
back to when Frank was here.
So,
But the relationship's much better than when Frank was here
The relationship.
with listers and town clerk.
Oh.
Sorry, Frank.
Yeah, so.
Frank, wherever you're at.
So that's what I think makes sense to me.
Yeah.
so Penny is going to be.
Have a vote.
Yes,
Oh, you're recapping,
I'm
sorry.
recapping. I've been recapping all day, every
Okay.
hour we had a
Pass the
recap.
buck and let them
So
figure
Penny
it
is going to be in charge of the server keeper or whatever, and if it can be worked out to have remote access without using the server, blah, blah, blah. All in favor?
Aye.
Can I ask a related question? Does that mean that I may have the money to spend on
That
an
would
annual subscription?
depend on if it was.
So how much money was
Well,
it?
if we did log me in, it's $100 a year. The first year, because we had the free service, is $50. I haven't looked at the prices of other ones.
And if you could, in that way, if you could use Log Me In to get access to your lister information if you can work that with, I think that's a reasonable expense, frankly.
No, again, plan on 100
Yeah,
a year
they
because
got it in
it's
their
100 a
budget.
year.
Yeah, you got it in your
You've got
budget.
it in your budget.
Well, that's what I figured, but
Yeah.
it seems that we can't spend money without asking for it, so I wanted to ask.
Yep,
Go
that's
for it.
fine. Thank you.
And then while I'm asking for money, can I ask one other thing?
Now you're pushing it, lady.
Yes, I
Like Dad
am.
could have $2. That was too easy. How about 4?
How about for yeah? No, this is
You realize it's warmed up, the ice is getting thin.
Yep, here we go. You ready? This is actually not a lot of money. Kate Snow, as you guys know, has worked for a number of years in the town of Brattleboro. She's now retired. Brattleboro also has, obviously, Nemrick and also Proval. Dick Smith has been doing a lot of trainings, but he's getting mildly what he needs. We would like to be able to have her come in as we need, maybe for 2-4 hours here and there to work specifically on Proval and Nemrick, either with him and with maybe also with Jeremiah and myself. Not for training purposes, not really getting into our files and
I
not
thought we
getting our
already
stuff.
proved this. This is
So-
not new news to me.
And if so, no, it's we talked about it before. And if
Okay.
so, at what rate? And can we just go ahead and start doing it? And how would we work it out? You know what I mean? You
I do know what you mean.
So we like to be able to call her and say, hey, can you come over for 3 hours next Thursday?
Executive session for that.
Well, I don't know, as long as it comes out of their budget.
Yeah.
Wait a second, would she be an employee of the town, or would she be
She's
a
just a
contractor?
contractor.
She'd be a contractor.
She's just a contractor coming in for a few
Yeah, that's what
hours
I'm
here and
saying.
there.
Well,
Yeah, and if as long as.
then she would tell the rate. We wouldn't tell her the rate. She would give a proposal and.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would
You either accept
entertain a
it or not.
proposal. Certainly Kate is well known to us and certainly very
as long as it's
trusted.
coming out of their budget, we're
So,
not
but then
raising
do I
it
have to then
forward.
wait till the right period in the 2 weeks to go and ask if we can have that rate and for you know
No,
what I'm saying?
I understand what you're
And then maybe
saying.
like
I
you
think
could
that-
say
I mean-
you could spend for a little while.
I think that the money that's in the lister's budget, I don't know if you have any, you probably don't have any money designated for a consultant.
Well, I would consider it an educational
Sure.
expense.
I mean, I don't know, it's not my understanding that if you have money in your budget, we certainly create the budget together, but it
Right.
sounds like it's your understanding that in order to spend any money that you have budgeted, you have to get our approval.
That is my understanding.
But you have to spend money for Proval anywho, right? Yeah, so it would come out of the Proval budget.
Or the training budget. Which
I would make a motion to approve, yes.
There's a Lister Ed fund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know
what
how
is
much. I don't know how much money is in that.
And
but
that's
you
what
could-
Lisa
Yeah,
did
because we've
mention
all
that,
been doing
yeah.
some trainings, so.
Right.
I'd make a motion to allow the Lister to spend their money, and whether it's line item Proval or Lister's education, to get the technical support and training by Kate Snow.
Okay, thank you. I'm not gonna ask for any more money.
Do you also want to pass a motion to authorize the LogMeIn subscription? Should they come to an agreement?
We kind of did that informally, but let's add that to a more formal motion, including that they can spend money to do LogMeIn if they work that out with Penny.
Or if we choose another remote access program.
Is that all right? That's kind of a double motion. Maybe we should
That's a
separate
double
those up.
motion.
Yeah,
Let's not approve money for the login until
until you guys work that
the
out.
decision is made.
Well, I think Lisa's point was
Time.
time, and I don't want to put pressure on Penny though, because I want you to.
Well, I don't have a problem, like I said, she will not be networked just like they
Right.
were before.
Okay, all right. So one motion is to allow hiring of Kate Snow.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second motion is to allow subscription fees for a
remote access.
remote
program.
access to that that works for the two of you.
I.e. LogMeIn or Pro.
Or go to my PC
Or
or.
go to my PC or something. Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, time to move on. We spent 25 minutes on this. That's way over my limit.
Way to go, Richard.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right, you guys all have a great evening.
You too.
Have fun.
Okay, Planning
Thank you, Penny. Thanks,
Commission.
Lisa.
Planning Commission recommendation for open seat and appointment.
Shall I read? Yep. May 7th, 2014, to the Guilford Selectboard. After careful consideration and much conversation, the Planning Commission would like to recommend Andy Lockney for the open seat. Both Andy and John have desirable attributes to bring to the table, but the large majority of commissioners felt Andy would best help to fill some current gaps needing representation in our revision of the town plan. His interest and expertise would serve invaluable in addressing already evolving discussions around climate change, natural resources, solar possibilities, providing a healthy future for Guilford families, and so much more. He demonstrates knowledge and attentiveness to detail we much need to help round out the Planning Commission, and his current dedication to all things he's involved in is admirable and appealing. Thank you for considering our recommendation. Sincerely, Michelle Figure, Planning Commissioner Chair.
So I make a motion to approve the Planning Commission's recommendation.
Well, now, wait a minute.
I'm just putting the motion.
Yeah, that's fine. My question is, now John stepped up to the plate first
That's correct.
and came to the first meeting when the planning commission was here. And then all of a sudden Andy shows up in the picture.
Well, I think what happened is at that meeting, Dick said, I'd like to get the approval. I would like to have the Planning Commission make a recommendation. And maybe, I don't know if...
And then Ann said, let's put it out on the web, see if anybody else wants to.
Did I do that?
Yes, you did.
Okay. So I think it was, it was our invitation, which we've done before, like this happened with the
Yeah.
school board appointment before,
Right.
where somebody was aware and somebody else wasn't. We said, stop, is anybody interested? And then we took all comers, and actually, I will say that a long time ago, that's the way we got Sean Murphy on our high school board, who was a great addition, but we stopped the process and asked anybody.
I have this is a pretty heavy resume to bring to the table as a new resident in town. I just hope that with his approval that he realizes that Guilford is Guilford and
He's one of a whole group. How big is the Planning Commission?
9?
9.
I mean, I'm not. I think he. We talked about this at the last meeting. He and John both bring interesting and different perspectives. I'd love to have them both, but I also felt that we made said let the Planning Commission make a recommendation, as we had with the school board way back when. I'm comfortable accepting that. I would love to see John involved if there were another. It's funny because we all know that we've
No,
had
that's
years.
fine, that's
Yeah.
fine. I just wanted,
I can add some light. I brought them both to you.
Right.
During a select board
Right.
meeting, and you said, let the planning commission
Right,
decide.
that's
Yeah,
because
oh, no,
because we
that's
did
the
that.
right
He was
procedure.
here
Yeah,
last
yeah,
time, too.
John was here first,
No,
but
no,
then
yeah,
Andy
but we looked at both
they
of
had
them.
both the letters
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
I'm just trying to refresh my
No,
memory.
no, I understand. I missed.
So, I mean, I'll second your motion to accept the planning board commission's recommendation.
All in favor?
I think it's interesting that planning commission is doing a lot. You know, it's funny how right.
Two vote, not three.
You're not. You
I'm
abstain.
not, I'm abstaining from that.
I think it's interesting how the planning commission is, you know, around like every time we have the town plan, suddenly they've got a ton of work to do, or they did a lot around the zoning ordinance issue, but and then it seems to go into periods of quiet.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I just have concerns with I can't use the term I would use if I was talking to a male audience, but when somebody comes in loaded, guns loaded and raring and tearing and not knowing the town. It's frightens me a little bit.
I know. I think I don't know. I guess I like John a lot. I think he's a great guy. I think that Andy's a great guy too. I think they have very different perspectives, and I like them
Yeah.
to see them both. I don't think either one of them alone could sway the planning commission in one direction.
No, but I think he has a support group in place.
Well, whatever.
So, but we did what we did. And, yeah. All right, New England. No, you don't.
Yeah, we're in New England.
This is kind of a formality that you can authorize people to go into the online portal, since we're talking about so much online stuff tonight, for admin of our dental. It requires a select board signature, so I don't know if, do Penny
Do
and I-
we-
usually it's Penny and I that have
So what do you?
the
What,
ability to go in and add employees, and it's for dental coverage.
so what you're asking for is us to allow.
To authorize Penny and I as the two people to have access to.
Oh, yeah,
It's that
I'd like to
simple.
make the motion that you and Penny have the
Okay.
access to go in and make the changes, additions, subtractions, whatever it is. I misunderstood you. I thought it
Yeah,
was
it's kind of.
for everybody
No.
to go in and do it.
All it
I'm going,
is to
"Ain't
go
that
to
an
Delta
HR thing?"
Dental's website and be able to
I'll
change
second
our.
the motion.
Thank you.
All
You
in
might just
favor?
sign it and
Aye.
fill it in after.
I don't want Danny going in there scheduling you a dental appointment to have your front
Dan would
teeth.
never go in there. Are you kidding me? No way.
Pull Katie's molars on
Yeah.
the second
Pull all
Tuesday.
top teeth. Thank you.
Old business, new discussion update, highway. Before we get
That was
involved,
fast.
before we get involved in highway,
Is this your report on your?
yes, I spent
Steve
a
Barrett's
wonderful 8 hours in Dallas Falls today for a road safety forum. We covered everything from, let me show you, police work to engineer work, education, enforcement, engineering, and EMS. That was the 4 E's we covered. What we worked off from was this map. It's the accidents in Windham County.
This reminds me, can I sort of do a tiny little, while I'm thinking of it thing? We were going to have a meeting, and maybe we had it and I missed it, about the accident-prone area of Weatherhead Hollow. What happened to that? Did I miss something? Remember that?
No, you guys went to that. I
We
missed that meeting.
we got some work coming on that.
Okay.
This is-
Kind of during a waiting pattern, I think.
I wasn't there. I wasn't able to be.
Okay, you must have been there.
Richard and Danny.
Okay, thank you.
But out of this, we had these presentations and then a discussion broke down into groups and discussions. And the issue was, how do we make people aware of highway safety? How do we make sure people wear seat belts? How do we make sure bicyclists and motorists get along?
So here's my question when they say, how do we make sure, who's the we?
The general, we as
As a-
officials
okay.
and the state as, and it was suggested that perhaps because of the select board meeting tonight, and we are filmed, that we we meaning I, and I'm okay who suggested that, but, make a sort of an announcement that there are available groups that come down and give presentations on awareness. And
Awareness of those four things.
awareness of those four things. And I thought we could join in with Brattleboro and maybe have a meeting at the Grange or somewhere. The bicycle thing is a hot topic. About actually the woman that gave the bicycle portion of it was very pro-bicycle. I mean, everything was about motorists harassing bicycles, and I had to state my normal self about the bicyclist that ran the stop sign on Wither Hollow Road and had to put his hand on my truck to keep running into me. So I mean, there's pros and cons to that. I mean, she was very, very in depth as to how the two should work together in the laws of training bicyclists. And so anyway, it was education, which comes under what I was talking about, and enforcement. We talked about the police patrols or lack of, because we're rural town, and their response time, what creates problems there. And engineering was another topic of.
Yeah, I'm curious about the engineering. I don't.
The engineering was
With the road layout.
and you'll love this one, because part of the engineering portion was speeds, and it said because the speed limit is 45, that doesn't mean you have to go that fast. Which I think I said.
Point counterpoint.
Yeah. No, a lot of that had to do with the roads, the layout of the roads. Of course, our road, actually, Guilford was one of the topic towns. And how the road.
Because of numbers of accidents, or?
Yeah.
Oh, and just because we have 77
what
miles
can
of
we
road.
do? What
Sure.
can we do to make the road better? Case in point is the corner just below Wither Hollow on Center Road is going to be redone for vision purposes.
By Evans's farm?
Yes.
Oh God, that's
Yeah,
such a
that's-
scary spot.
One of the amazing things is if you look at this map, there is, I think, it doesn't show it on this one. One of the other ones was 5 accidents between Algiers and Potato Lane.
Interesting, because remember when we
And
had
that's a
somebody.
35-mile-an-hour speed limit and a straight road. And yeah, and it doesn't,
Did it say
It
where
doesn't
exactly?
compute.
Does it show
Yeah.
where the accidents took place?
yeah. Right here. Because that's the intersection. There's 2 at the intersection, that's understandable.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's
So-
all with injury. 4 with injury and 1 with property damage.
Over how many years are these? One was me.
2009. It's over a period of time.
Yeah.
But I'm still on a straightaway.
Were you texting and driving?
Did you?
No, I was so not texting and driving. It was the funniest accident in the world.
Oh, that was one of the big things, texting and driving.
No. I was not. I was. A car stopped in front of me. Stopped cold on the center road. No, I stopped too, and then the car backed up into me. And you know, when you're behind, it's always your fault. But this car backed into me, and I was honking and honking. And they were looking at. They'd seen some wild turkeys that they were trying to get a better view of, so they weren't looking where they were going.
Yeah. And EMS was the last one, and again, because we were supposed to come back a key point to the EMS, and it was twofold for us. It was 911 delay time to dispatch, and again, rural response time. And there's a lot more we can go with that in the future if we want those people to come down. I think there was 9 people.
So the overall point of the day was to be
Zero traffic deaths.
Well, that's a goal, and so the
That's the goal.
purpose was, what can we do to work together?
What
to
can we
make-
do to work
okay.
together to get all this zero traffic goals, zero traffic deaths? Yeah,
And one of the suggestions was to get together with Brattleboro
yeah.
and have like sort of a series of like
Sort of,
seminars.
yeah.
Excellent.
Actually, it was Steve.
Yeah.
He gave part of that, and he said, "Your meeting's tonight." So
Yeah,
I
no,
told
it's
him I
good.
wouldn't use his name, but he lies a lot to it.
So you felt like it was a pretty worthwhile day?
It was a long day, because we had the Wyndham Arena meeting afterwards, so, but
Yeah.
it was,
It
yeah.
was worthwhile.
Yeah.
Not to bring up a sore subject related to that, but did we ever make a plan about figure out what's holding us up with our traffic and highway ordinances? It seems like those are somewhat related to this.
Yeah. They just ain't done. There's nothing holding them up, other than we
There's
haven't
nothing
done.
holding them up. We weren't
No,
waiting
the
for it.
Signs are done,
Yeah.
colors are done,
Okay.
Yeah.
So we just
Because
need.
there's a dog ordinance that needs.
just the dog ordinance needs to be.
You were going to sit down with Danny.
I was gonna sit down with
Quiet study hall.
Walt and do the
Oh,
dog
right,
ordinance,
okay.
and I'm guilty on that one, and
That's
we're all
all right.
guilty on the traffic, so,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Just.
yeah. Okay.
Well, thank
annual-
you for going and representing us.
Yeah, well, good food.
Good. It was up in Bellas Falls.
Well, the theater.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Annual financial plan, town highways.
I'm getting there. We submit.
That little thing
It's
is.
hard. It's a good thing I'm not a real typist because this isn't holding me back.
Yeah.
Because I only use these fingers. We do the financial form every year for,
John Alexander.
yes, and they haven't been down yet this
That's
year.
what I was wondering. I thought of that today. John hasn't been down yet.
No, they don't need to come down.
Why?
They do, but it's not required. But we
Oh.
need to send this in within 60 days of town meeting, and since they haven't been down, I'm submitting it.
I'd like to
Because-
make the motion that we have, Richard's got to sign that?
Yeah.
I'd like to make the motion that our chair signs the annual financial plan for the town highway for us and get it up to the state.
I'll second that.
Actually, you all sign it.
Oh, we do?
Congratulations. Yeah.
So there's no change from last year?
All you do, Dick, is fill in what you get for state aid to highway, back off what we need to raise in taxes, and that's it. It's not that complicated.
Sometimes John used to come down and give us more money than we thought. I always liked those
Yeah,
meetings.
I mean, he would maybe talk to you guys about grants if you want to do that.
Well,
But I need to get this
Sure.
form. You can still have that
No, I
conversation. It's not
understand.
going to change the outcome
Yeah,
of
he
this
can,
form.
he can still come
It's all
down.
driven off the budget. Here, you can look at it.
He can
This is
still
all
come
straight
down
off the
and-
budget.
and-
Thank you for your pen.
Thank you. Thank you.
But these figures are the same as last year's. Our budget is,
No, they're a little different. They give you they give us this, which is what we use.
okay.
So, I mean, it doesn't, whatever they tell us, that's what we get. We don't have any discretion over that. Nor do they, really.
Guilford class.
Yeah.
Yeah, there, here. Yeah.
These are our numbers right here, taken from this sheet.
So this is a certification of compliance?
Well, this is supposedly the money we'll be getting from state aid.
That's what the annual financial plan is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I was surprised that he hasn't been down. I thought of that today when
Sure.
they were talking.
Was he there?
No.
No, he didn't either.
No.
So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is the certificate of compliance for town road and bridge standards, which you guys just signed in December.
Right.
But they need it after town meeting, so you get to sign it again,
So
certifying the exact same thing.
I certify that the bridges, I guess what we're certifying is the information we've given them is complete, is correct.
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, actually, some of our standards are better than.
And that's pretty much what it says, that you meet or are
Meet or
better
exceed.
than.
You know,
Mhm.
yeah. General update, they're grading today, they went over to Hale Road and back to Packard Corners Road, and I don't,
Above mine.
I haven't heard a thing from Cat
Oh,
on the grader. And I was talking to Steve Barrett again today about that, and he said they have trouble with Cat all the time, that they don't respond, so. So maybe I told Dan last Friday, I said, have Jim sharpen up his pencil on John Deere and see what he can do.
who's dealing with John Deere at this point?
That's Jim, I think. Jim's his name, right? John Deere, yeah.
Jim where?
Oh,
You're getting too technical now. All I know
Well,
is-
that's just because I know that the John Deere, Walpole, it doesn't sell them anymore, and I was just.
no.
This is
The
a-
big equipment is green, yellow, and black.
Nortec.
Not the tractors, which
Yeah,
is
yeah, it's out of Springfield.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Or if you want a green one, you gotta go all the way to Montpelier. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's gonna wait for Cat, wait to see what he hears, but, so far he hasn't heard a word. He was gonna bring it down last week, but that's as far as he got. He did have a complaint on one road and he got graded today. But he's trying to catch up.
yeah.
So he hasn't tested the cat grader yet?
No Cat yet.
Can't
Okay.
have delivered to test it.
Okay.
The roads
House
are.
Green River Road,
Much better.
It's passable.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Better than it
I
was.
just have to
No.
say, considering that we
No, it's
anticipated
gotta
a
be-
pretty tough mud season and had some pretty tough spots, I think our road crew did an excellent job.
They did a real good job this
Keeping
year.
up.
I think the worst one was over on beyond Boyd's, but
Not Carpenter Hill, whatever that.
Barney Hill.
Yeah.
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 Okay,
I mean, I think it was there's no bottom.
We almost lost a couple pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
but no cows.
No cows up
No livestock.
there. No livestock.
They're too smart to go in it.
Good, okay.
They're standing out there going, look at those
Right,
dummies.
they had quite a conversation about it.
Uniform.
None.
And the postings, I should have noticed, the signs are
I
down.
think they're
Signs
pulled.
are down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan said he
Yeah.
pulled them last meeting.
Last
Okay,
week, yeah.
thank you.
Finances.
I would like to make the following motion that we pay payroll of 5/4/14 for $5,102.31. Payroll of 5/11/14 for $5,274.04. Warrant number 20 for $28,942.61. Warrant number 20 DP for $182, for a total of all payroll and warrants for $39,500.96.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Communications.
There is an email from Fred Humphrey, president of Guilford Historical Society. That's a big thank you to the town for the heat installed in the old town hall, which is the Guilford Historical Society Museum.
Are they therefore going to keep the building open all year, or
No.
No, because it's still not insulated or anything, right?
No, it's still strictly,
Yeah,
We received life and disability rates for the next year. They're switching carriers and there's a decrease. We got information from the V-Trans 2014 Bike and Pedestrian Program announcement. And Dick and Walter got certificates of certification for your animal cruelty.
Oh, looky there.
frame them, hang them on the wall.
Thank you very much, Richard.
Thank you for attending.
Oh, I tell you, that's just an honor to know how to be cruel to animals.
No, I knew you were going to.
But not the best way.
I will say that I am very grateful for all of the trainings and workshops you attend. I appreciate it. You put in a lot of time.
Yeah, on the 31st of May, give another day to, that's, what's that one? No, that's Health Officer, no.
Is it?
No, that's, dog control.
Yes, dog control, thank you.
You gotta learn how to be cruel to them, to get them stirred up, and you go control them. So yeah, I mean, if it's, it needs to be done.
No, I appreciate that. You do. You put in a lot of time.
Anything else?
If I can just remind that the next select board meeting won't be on Monday the 26th because it's Memorial Day. It will be on Wednesday the 28th.
Yes.
Can we hold it at the Blueberry House? We have twice free.
A good idea.
Then we can eat it during it.
Do we want to do any?
We want a patio
We had
out
talked
front,
about
that's what we
the
talked
traffic and
about.
highway ordinance. I'll do. Do we want to set a workshop session?
I think we need to.
I need a
think
work
it's something we
session
do.
because
Yeah.
It's just,
I'm not comfortable doing it.
it's not something that one person can sit down and go through it, the next person can go down and go through it and
So-
make changes, so it, rather than sit
Who
down.
needs to be
all-
there? If we all sat down at once, it'd be great. I mean, I could have it open on my computer if you and Danny and I sat down together, and I could be typing, you know, whatever. But I would love to get those two, and the dog ordinance, but I'd like to get
Yeah,
those two off our plates,
yeah.
all three of them. That'd
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah. So after this animal thing, I'm going to do the dog ordinance.
Okay, and that's the end of May.
It's the end of May.
And maybe then sometime in June or July, we can
we
do
can
the
do that, yeah.
other two and just sit down and hammer them out.
Shouldn't be a lot of changes.
No, we've done a lot of the work.
I
We
had
just
this
haven't finalized.
brainstorm of, and it was a small storm.
A brief shower.
But I thought the way traffic is and the way a lot of our roads are designed, to replace some of the stop signs with yield signs.
If we could do that, that'd be
And
great. I
still
thought we were
just-
having to follow the law and have all those stop signs around.
No, I believe it's our discretion. It's an obvious T, you gotta have a stop sign, but if you've got a right hand,
Sure.
especially if the right hand turns off from a main artery onto a main artery or something.
I just remember that we have to have something, which
We
is
have to
too
have
bad.
something, and I believe a yield is just as good as a stop. And since, I mean, people run stop signs all the time, so they might as well.
Sure. No,
a
let's
yield
just.
sign would.
So you want to wait till after the end of May and then pick a time and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sit down?
yeah.
Okay.
I'll double check that.
Sure.
I make the motion we adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
All right.
Right.